We have a lot going on. There's a lot happening. And believe it or not, astrologically, so this is, I don't know, today's February 5th. This first week of February is supposed to be like the smoothest sailing astrologically. Oh, so fun. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of I'm getting people reaching out to me. I'm in groups. Like there's just a lot. Whatever that means to you, there is a lot. And so I wanted to do a tarot poll. And I've been sitting with a lot of the world and the energy and everything that's happening right now and things that are unfolding. And when I was meditating this morning, one of the things that came to me, and this was also something that came to me back during the pandemic, was about finding peace amongst chaos. Now, that doesn't mean sticking your head in the sand, and it doesn't mean ignoring, but it means being in the middle of that chaos, being in the middle of that, like, everybody's on the field running around on fire, and like, you're just there, right? Like, you're just experiencing it. Because part of what we've always seen in all of human culture, since the beginning of time, since before written history, is that we humans have always, I have a thing on my vision board that said the cup was already broken. And it's a reminder that there's always been, part of the human experience is hardship, but also part of the human experience is seeing that hardship, and then what do you do with it? So collaboration, this is coming together. This is community. I think that this is so important right now, especially when we see on a macro level, so many big things happening. Get micro, get small, get involved in, smaller community, state level groups, or neighborhoods, like, start a book club, like anything like that. But this is the card, the Three of Pentacles, is about collaboration. And the message of this is that everybody plays a role. And I am human, and I get frustrated with this notion, and I forget it too, that every single person right now is playing out a role. And so if you look at the card, you see, so this is the builder, and these are the architects. So they need each other, because without him, all they have is paper, right? Like they drew up the plans, but they need this guy to do the labor, and that he has the tools, right? You can see it on his apron, all this stuff. So, and same, like without their information, without their plans, he's got nothing to do. So it's really about coming together. And that's probably like a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Cliche thing to say, like, oh, let's all come together now, right? And bridge together. And but it is like, we are stronger together, right? Like we truly are. And when we can see that even the people that are triggering us the most right now are playing a part. And, if you hold on to a religion and you want to, or any type of faith and want to call it a part of a divine plan, right? Like that could be something too. But also know that part of that plan, I saw a really funny stand-up comedian that said something about evangelicals or something right now that are like thrilled because part of their belief is that Jesus comes when the world ends, right? And so like they're like, yeah, let's let the world end. But here's the thing. These are all different illusions, their stories, their beliefs, their whatever. And I'm not discrediting them, because everybody has that right to hold on to whatever their faith, their belief there is. But I think that we can all kind of hone down and ask a very simple question of ourselves with everything that we do at all times, which is, am I being helpful or hurtful? Or am I being selfless or selfish? And sometimes we have to be like, yeah, I'm being selfish right now. We got to just own that. The Hermit card is this kind of, it's withdrawing, it's going within. And I think that that's like a really important, I want to stay super informed. I want to know what's happening right now too. I want to have my ducks in a row. But I also know when enough is enough. And I know when I need to like withdraw my energy. For me, when I get scared, I get angry. So when I notice anger start bubbling up, I'm like, whoop, time to pump the brakes a little bit. So the Hermit card is this kind of like going on this kind of spiritual quest, this spiritual journey. This is a very chaotic time. And usually when people have spiritual awakenings, it's during a time of chaos, divorce, death, loss of a job, like something very chaotic and sudden. And so I think that we can all be using this opportunity to kind of go within and ask those bigger questions. What is my role? What am I playing? What am I doing? How am I helpful? How am I hurtful? The Hermit card also, if you see, is a really great reminder that like he has no plan. He has nothing figured out. All he has is this one light that when he takes a step, the next step presents itself, and then the next step. So you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know everything that's going on all the time. You can kind of withdraw that energy and drop into your heart space and see what kind of information comes up from that. Seriously, gotta just love the honesty of the tarot. The Judgment card comes up with the Tower card. So this is a sudden change. This is an upheaval. This is a sudden chaos. Judgment is literally our judgment. There could be a sudden change in your judgment. You could suddenly be feeling very judged. You could also very much be judging others. I'm practicing personally right now, trying not to other people, right? To see like we're all one. So maybe that's part of like you are like, oh, am I othering that person? Am I putting them, in a category or whatever, versus seeing how can I be a bridge? And sometimes there are where we have to use discernment because it's not black and white, because sometimes there can be very toxic people or situations or news outlets or whatever it is, but we can kind of identify like, oh, that's toxic for me. It's not toxic for everybody, but it's toxic for me. So having that discernment. So it's going to be really, really important that we are kind of seeing that the things, the Tower card, it's a tough one because it's like chaotic, right? People are jumping out of the building, but the things that no longer serve you are falling away from you. Don't cling to what you know. Don't cling to what is no longer serving you, whatever that is. Archangel Gabriel is on the Judgment card, and so he's the messenger God. The messenger angel of God. So he kind of represents this whole rebirth too. And remember, like I think it was Alicia Keys said, I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch any of the Grammys or whatever it was, but I did see a part on social media about Alicia Keys talking about being the phoenix from the rising. That's exactly kind of what this is like being the phoenix. Like the phoenix has to like, in order for it to rise, it's got to burn down. Okay. So Knight of Cups, this is the knight in shining armor. I think a lot of us are probably like, where are you? Where are you? Sometimes we have to be our own knight in shining armor. So he moves very slow. He's very methodical. He's conserving energy. Remember, we are in a marathon here, not a sprint. So conserve your energy. This represents like our money, our value. So it's kind of like holding on to it. It can also be, are we clinging so tightly that we don't get to participate in what's happening in the world behind us? Take note of intuitive messages. So a lot of cups. This is a really good opportunity, I think, for us to kind of figure out the dynamics between our emotions and our values. So this is like the fish popping out of the cup. This is kind of like your intuition's going to pop up out of nowhere. Like allow it to come from these very, random places, like often we'll look for like the numbers or songs or whatever, but if something like you get a sudden thought or a scent or a message or anything like that, take it for what it is. The resilience card comes up. This is, this dude he's been through some shit. He's looking over his shoulder. He's got a bandage on his head. Like he's been, he's kind of looking over like, oh, what else? What's next? And I think that a lot of us can resonate either right now. I know I feel this dude. I am in his shoes right now. But in general, we've had times in our life where we kind of are like, okay, like one thing after another. What could possibly be coming up next? And I think, sometimes just being in the experience, just being in whatever it is. A lot of messages are coming out, so we'll wrap this up. Thank you, Spirit. Chariot, we're going to get to where we need to go. The Chariot has will, power, determination, grit. Oh, I love this. This is good. See, Spirit does, it might slap you around a little bit, but the tarot does give nice messages. So this is willpower. This is determination. It's grit. It's keep going. Take breaks when you need to, go when you need to. Meditate on your happy family. What is your best life? What is a happy family to you? What do you value? What's your richest life? For some people, their richest life might be $1 million in the bank. And for other people, their richest life might be traveling with their family once a year. Who knows? This is beautiful. The King of Swords is all about truth. He's all about authority. He has very clear boundaries. The Hierophant is about spiritual teachings, spiritual lessons. Like you can almost, he kind of like reminds me of like the Pope, right? And then he's got these disciples, like he's ready to lead. He's ready to take what his experience is and share it with others. And so this could be a time where we take our experiences and figure out, how can we teach? How can we communicate differently? This is a new way of thinking. So I invite you, and only you will know what that means for you, right? Whatever way you've been thinking about things, can you see it from a new perspective? Can you communicate about it a little bit differently? Can you think about it a little bit differently? This is also things moving very quickly and very swiftly. So grounding your energy is not going to hurt you right now. And so you can do that by taking walks, cooking, meal prepping, any type of root chakra meditations, root chakra music, frequency. Like you could probably just Google, how do I ground my energy? And a bunch of things will come up. We're going to be all right.